going on, everybody? My name is Ben, and welcome back to another episode of Ben Builds. We are here on the bench with our Team Yankee T-64s. Last episode, we assembled all 14 tanks, so today, we're going to go ahead and paint them all up. Now, we have 15 total tanks to paint, and for paint, we're going to be using a ready-to-go, pre-made Russian green paint set. This is by Vallejo, so you can see here, this is for the modern Russian green. On the back, we've got all the paints and the steps we need from our primer coat all the way down to our satin finish. So that's going to be interesting to see how this all goes together. I've never used one of these sets of paints before. I've been told that they are really awesome, that they work really, really well, but I've never used them, and I have no idea how they're going to spray through my airbrush. Now, I have some issues with Vallejo paint. Sometimes they spray well, sometimes they hardly spray at all. So we're going to take color by color and just fingers crossed, these all go on perfectly. Also, we have a couple additional colors too. We have a canvas color, that's for the canvas shroud around the gun, and then we have a track color here. Those are going to be probably next episode, though, because I've got a lot of work to do on the actual Russian camo, and I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. So let's just go ahead and focus today on that Russian camo. Like I said, we're going to start off with our primer coat, and then we're going to move on all the way to our highlight coat. And we have a lot of work to do with this guy. So like I said, I've never done this before, so I'm going to take it step by step, really, really nice and easy, not going to push too fast or too hard. I will say, though, that the primer that they give you is just a basic Vallejo primer. They call it a light gray primer. It looks more like it's white, so I'm not sure what that's all about. I would really, really love to use something different than the Vallejo primer. I just haven't had luck with Vallejo primer. It's just usually really thick, and it just doesn't really go on very well. I would absolutely love to use my Stalnares. Stalnares is awesome primer. I'd love to use that, but you know what? The color is too dark. I don't want to mess up all the modulation and all that stuff, so we're just going to stick with what's in the kit. Now, we have to cover 15 tanks, so I'm hoping I have enough paint in all the little dropper bottles to cover all 15 tanks. If I don't, I'll have to make some alterations, but I think we're ready to go for our gray primer. Let's drop it in the airbrush and push on and get these things moving. All right, everybody, we have all of our 15 tanks primered, and I got to tell you, the primer, well, it looks great. It just kept gumming up in my airbrush. I don't know if it's just the pressure I'm running. Vallejo paint can sometimes be amazing, and sometimes it just sucks. So, I don't know, but we're going to move on to stage 2. Now, for the second step here, we're going to be using olive gray. This is the first step here in the actual paint application, and this is going to be used for all of the shadowed areas on our vehicle. So, for example, on the tracks, the running gears, underneath the hull, underneath the RPG skirts, anywhere that's going to have some sort of a shadow on it, we're going to use this darker color. Also on the turret, the underside of the turret, the underside of the gun, underside of the turret bustle, all the stuff's going to be painted with this color. I'm hoping to use a little bit of my airplane modeling techniques and panel shade a lot of these little areas here and there. So I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but we're going to try it. Fingers crossed, let's try it out. All right, well, all our tanks look crazy. They look zebra striped and patterned, but that's okay because this is really just for shadow, and I did all the panel lines as well, so we are pretty much ready for the next step. Now, the next step is going to be overcoating the entire tank with a dark green color. Now, the paint here in the kit is dark green. We actually also have a Model Air dark green, same exact color. So we run out of this dropper bottle, we can go ahead and use the big boy. I did actually run out of the olive gray color, so I did have to switch over at the last couple of tanks for a darker green color, but I think it should work just fine. Let's go ahead and hit that dark green and move forward. All right, so we are ready to move on to the next stage. That would be stage number 4. And this one, we're going to be overcoating the tanks themselves just on the upper surfaces with this zinc chromate. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, but we're going to try it out. So now let's load up the airbrush, and we are going to hit all the top surfaces with this zinc chromate. And I'm hoping this will kind of blend everything together and get it looking awesome. Well, I have to say that it actually does work pretty well. This is the tank here, as you can see, with that zinc chromate, and this is one without zinc chromate. I like how it looks. It's definitely starting to take shape. So we're going to go ahead and do all the rest of the 14 with the zinc chromate on the top coat here, and hopefully, well, the rest look just as cool. Let's keep going. All right, everybody, so we have all of our tanks painted up with the zinc chromate, and I like how they look. I think they look really cool. But we're going to have to do one more highlight color, and that's going to be the very tip-top, very brightest color we possibly have, and that's this one right here. Now, it's actually called just plain old bright, kind of a yellowish green color. We're going to go ahead and drop it into the airbrush. We're going to highly thin it, and then we're going to pass over just the very tops of all the surfaces that would be bleached by the sun. Who knows, guys? Let's go ahead and try it. All right, everybody, so we have all of our 15 tanks painted up in our Russian green camo, and I'm hoping you can see, but this actually looks really, really interesting. We have some light green, some dark green, some shadowy gray green here and there. I think it looks pretty cool. Is it 100% accurate? I don't know. Is it perfect? Probably not, but it works for me. I like it. Hopefully, it works for my friend. Now, we're going to go ahead and call it quits on today's episode. We do have more colors to go ahead and do, but I will say that this paint set here by Vallejo for the modern Russian green, I like it. I think it was really, really cool. Very easy to follow. I don't have the technique down 100%, but it gave you some nice steps, and I think they turned out decently. So next episode, we're going to come on back for some detailed painting. Until then, you guys know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool. We'll see you back here on the next episode of Ben Builds. We'll see you soon.